and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Join me in bowing your heads, please. Lord Jesus, we thank you so much for this evening, for all those who have gathered tonight and those who are listening online. Lord, we're just so grateful for this community that we get to live in. Lord, we thank you for all those who serve and for all those who reside here. We pray that you can bless us with wisdom and discernment as we work together to make the right decisions for the county. We thank you for this opportunity and we praise your name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, I will call the meeting to order. Those of us that are guests in here tonight, please make sure your cell phone is on silent or turned off so as not to disrupt the meeting as we go along. We do have a lot of items on the agenda if you looked at the agenda. So we're going to try to get through everything in a timely manner. So please keep all your comments when you're up at the stadium to the business at hand and we'll go from there. First item is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Joe, second by Kim to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Usual sign.
Abstain.
Delenn abstains because he was not here last month. Sheriff. And Michelle.
Good evening, council. We have just a few transfers to go over with you this evening. Michelle's gonna go through those.
Good evening. Our first transfer, we are requesting is $5,000 from County General 11339 to County General 11507, which would be work release part-time to work release overtime. The second one is the amount of $5,000 as well. County General 11507 to County General 11315, which is the Sheriff's Office overtime to part-time. Third is going to be out of the 1222 fund. We're requesting $3,000 be transferred from 36003 to 32003. And the last transfer is out of the sheriff's budget, County General 35001 to County General 21038. And that's going to be in the amount of $15,000.
If I could just speak on the last one that she mentioned on the 15,000, as you remember, you approved the new mechanic position. So these funds were, it's a little tricky because you can only use them for, explain that, the business and not to meet the code. After talking to Alyssa, we needed to transfer it. It's the money's there, but we need to put it in the other fund so we can do it in pursuant to the way that the ordinance is written.
And Jim, that's the gentleman or the person that you use that you share with the highway department. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. And he's up and running and we've had several cars already serviced up there and so far so good.
So how's it working?
It's working well. Yeah.
Any questions for Sheriff or Michelle while they're here?
You told us before, Jim, how many cars is it that you'll be servicing then?
Well, we have about 75 in our fleet,
Okay, that's what I thought.
so you'll be busy.
Yeah, but that program will save, you know. That's what
Yeah.
that,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And thanks for presenting that to us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kathy to approve, second by Kim. Any further discussion? All those in favor, usual sign. Thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, tomorrow, 2:00 right here, JCAP, number 19, class is graduating. You're all invited. Love to see you here. So.
Thank you. Melissa. You're not bringing your backup up there with you? Okay.
I'm just asking this evening to transfer money from all the accounts that are listed here. I'll save reading all of them off to our voting equipment account. And that totals $219,797 to pay the remaining balance of the new voting equipment that we received.
And Melissa, are these just miscellaneous accounts for that specific situation, or is this odds and ends where you had some extra money?
Yeah, like we encumbered the funds that were left over from last year to hold over for this particular purchase.
Thank you.
And you already have the voting machines?
We did receive the voting machines, yes.
Okay.
200 of them.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
That we received 200 new voting machines.
Wow.
Good.
So we better pay the bill.
Yeah. no
Yeah.
kidding. Any questions for Melissa while she's up here?
Yeah, I've got one. How old were the machines we're replacing? I mean,
20 years old.
really?
Yes. And
So
we
we're not
started with,
replacing all, we're doing so many each year?
no, we had a total of 220 machines, but since we went to vote centers, we can reduce the number to 200. So we replaced 200 with the new ones and we have 20 backups still under the old machines in case needed.
Are the new machines different?
They're updated. They're clearer images. We plan on bringing them by probably at the beginning of next year to do a demonstration for you all.
Okay.
And so that way you guys can see them. They're much nicer and just updated and clear. And I think it'll make voting easier because it's more clear cut on what selections were made.
Okay. And I'm sure it has a printing aspect of it. or
Yeah,
the-
same as, yeah,
Okay.
it still prints to that, the VVPAT.
Okay.
Okay, silly question. What did we do with the old ones?
They took them back to recycle them.
Excellent. Okay. Did we get any kind of credit or anything for those or does
No.
that just, okay.
No.
Anything further for Melissa? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Motion by Delin to approve,
Second.
second by Joe. Any further discussion? All in favor, usual sign. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Jack Birch, Public Defender's Office.
Okay, I have a couple of matters. First is a request to transfer funds. This is with respect to the supplemental fund. We had appropriated initially, basically to cover salaries, based upon the original proposed salary budget, which was just sort of a Band-Aid solution to start getting people paid. That had a category to cover an investigator. We've never hired an investigator. We don't plan to. But it had funding there. But obviously we do need supplies and books and the ability to pay some court reporters and things like that. So the investigator fund had 44,000 and we're asking to transfer 26,000 to cover all of these different categories that we do need. And we will obviously have that going forward in our budget in the future. But that's what, it's already been appropriated. We just need to transfer. We're just asking to transfer it into these new funds to get us through at the end of the year. This is our best guess of what we think those will be.
Sure. First time office, all you can do is best guess, right?
That's what I'm learning. And that's, you'll hear that next week too. So the total is 26,000 out of that 44.
Anybody have any questions for Jack?
So the paper that you supplied here, that's listing out what you're going to actually use those funds for.
Yes, those are the categories we're going to put them into that we think that we need them for. Yes.
Okay.
Those are, I mean, and we, basically what we did was, I worked with the auditors and looked at the prosecutor's budget and looked at some other budgets from other public defender offices and sort of tried to put everything together and say, yeah, that we probably will have that, and let's make an estimate of what those are. So that's our best guess of
Okay.
the kinds of things we'll probably need and sort of an idea of what we might be spending. So we kind of probably aimed high to make sure that we're not coming back.
Okay.
So-
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jack on this part? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rachel, second by Kim. Any further discussion? All those in favor, usual sign. And your last one.
Thank you. This one is a little bit more complicated, I guess. This is an additional appropriation because when we came in for the first appropriation, we did not consider that we have our part-time contracted lawyers. That's 5 of those people, or 5 of those lawyers. And this has to get paid from the general fund. According to statute and guidelines, only salaried personnel are able to be paid from the supplemental fund. And I have contacted Derek Mason and he has confirmed that that does have to be paid through general. So this is a request for an appropriation from the general fund. I know it's a big number, but consider that the courts already have a significant amount appropriated that I anticipate, and having talked to the judges, there's going to be a significant amount coming back out of their budget. So it should wash, and it actually should be a larger number coming back. So it looks like it's a big number, but I think it all washes out in the end. I think.
Listen, Becky, agree with you.
So you just need it into this column before you can get it back into this column.
Yes, and the reason the judges aren't in here, because they do have some miscellaneous things that they still have to cover, so they don't know what the exact amount was. My initial proposal was, why don't you just put the money back and let me, and they said, well, why don't you get the money first and let us figure out what we put back. So
Okay.
that's where I'm at. But I have been paying my contract lawyers, and I have to be able to fund that because they are working.
Okay. So basically it's in the judge's budget at this point for this year's budget, and that's.
Yes,
why
they
we're
had
gonna
it
do this.
budgeted for 12 months, and they're
Yeah.
only paying people for 6 months.
Okay,
They have a few stragglers.
yeah,
Things that they have to pay, but they have, I don't know what the numbers are, but it's way more than 188,000 left in theirs.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions regarding this? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make-
Motion approved.
I'll second that.
Motion by Delenn to approve, second by Kathy, with nod from Becky and Alyssa. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by normal sign. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Alyssa, KCC RVC.
I'm here on behalf of the Kosciuszko County Commissioners Association Bureau Board, whatever. KCCRVC is what we call them for short. In their last meeting, they talked about budget. They'll be ready to come and present their budgets to you, the 18th or the 19th. And then we talked about them needing a little bit more money for appropriation to spend to get them through the rest of the year. So they came up with the $100,000 number to appropriate for the rest of the year, and they won't use it all, but their cash balance right now is around $800,000. So the money's there. They just need approval to apply for the additional appropriation.
So moved.
Oh, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So just to be clear then, they're the body that actually gives grants to,
Distribute the innkeeper's tax that's collected for the county, yes.
okay, so
Yes.
so we're just allowing them to go ahead and grant these grants that they're interested in giving.
Yes.
And they don't currently have anything. They're just putting money in their pot in case something does come.
Right. They have about $200,000 worth of appropriation left to spend this year with two meetings left. So they just, when I told them they probably needed to consider an additional, they said, okay. And they came up with that number and I said, okay.
Okay,
Any further discussion or questions? If not, I had a motion by Kim to approve.
second.
Got a second by Kathy. Any further discussion? All those in favor, usual sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Julia, are you doing this? All right. Julia Goon, representing the Kosciuszko County Trustees Association.
I am. There's a lot of trustees here, but they
Notice
think
that.
I know everything and I don't. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So all the township trustees, please stand up so they can see how many of you are here because we are concerned. There's 17 townships in this county and there's a lot of them here. So we're here because of Senate Bill 1 and the township impact it's gonna have. The legislators really did it to us, we feel like. The property tax impacts. You know, we run our townships from our fall and spring tax distributions and lit monies, local income tax. And that is going to change. So townships statewide are projected to lose 25.5 million annually by 2028 due to new deduction changes, levy growth caps, elimination of the local income tax, property tax relief credit. The fiscal analysis from the Indiana General Assembly details property tax impacts through 2028. You can look that up. The local income tax, the LIT that we receive monthly, that is not effective until January 1st of 2028. So maybe we're putting the cart before the horse, but the Indiana Township Association said that you need to get to your county councils and let them know how this is going to impact you. So that's another reason why we're here tonight. So the LIT councils are going to be eliminated as of January 1st, 2028. County councils will have sole authority to approve all LIT rates. Townships may receive up to 0.2% LIT for non-municipal civil taxing units subject to county council approval. So it is not guaranteed that any townships will get LIT unless the county council gives it to us. And so what we're going to have to do is present you with a resolution. I typed one up already for our county association, and I believe you all got a copy, but we will be back with that resolution unless the state legislators realize what they've done. We will be back July of 2027 with that resolution that we want a share of LIT monies that we use for our fire departments, cemetery restorations, everything. And it not only affects our fire departments, it affects fire territories. If they don't get that LIT money, I don't know how Turkey Creek Township's going to survive, or Tippecanoe, or Warsaw Wayne fire territory. It's a lot of money they're going to not get. So the fire territory cap, new fire territories created after December 31st, 2024 will be capped at 40 cents per $100 of assessed evaluation. Existing fire territories will keep their current rates. So that is Senate Bill 1 that we're facing. And then we have House Bill 1461 that hit us. That is also a township impact. So we have to do an annual capital improvement plan starting September 30th of 2025. It is a mandatory transfer requirement. 30% of the amount by which unrestricted fund balances exceed the following year's budget must be transferred annually to a new township roads and infrastructure fund. This transfer will be our balances of our township fund and our rainy day fund transferred to this new township roads and infrastructure fund in our townships as of 1/1/2027. So then we will have to do an MOU, which is a memo of understanding with Perry Township. Would have to do it with the county because I have no town in my township or city. So somebody like Plain Township, he could do a memo of understanding with his road funds with the town of Leesburg or with the county. Turkey Creek Township, they could do one with the town of Syracuse, the county. City of Wayne Township would have to do one with the city of Warsaw, or maybe with the county. I don't know. So the importance of the capital improvement plan, the documentation is critical to protect township reserves from the roads fund transfer. So in our capital improvement plan, which we were online today with a Zoom meeting with the Indiana Township Association, and it's unclear whether or not we have to present our CIP to the county council. I did not realize until today, you guys do a non-binding recommendation of our budgets. Not all counties do that in the state of Indiana. So our county chose to do a non-binding review of our budgets, but you didn't have to. Which really isn't that big of a deal. To me, I don't care if you look at my budget, it's public. But we're not quite sure if we have to give you our CIP plan. And in the Indiana code, it said we had to give that to you by August 1st. It's August 14th. So the DLGF and the State Board of Accounts can't even tell us. And then one of them says we have to advertise the CIP plan, and the other one says we don't. As of today, none of us really know what we're doing with the CIP plan. It's very frustrating for us.
Right.
So I think that's really all that I have. I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything to that. Did I forget anything? I did forget something? No?
You usually don't.
Well, I tried.
And I'm really glad that you came
Thank
because
you.
conversations obviously with us and with our township people have been going on for quite some time regarding the new legislature and I'm really glad that you're here because the news needs to pick this up so we can put pressure on the legislators to
Yes.
make sure that they do the right thing and
Everybody needs to be calling their legislators.
Yeah.
And I hope they retract what they've done because this is a lot. This is big. This is a big deal.
I was just in a meeting this morning with the chairman and vice chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee on Senate Bill 1.
Okay.
So we had an hour and a half meeting. There was several, Rachel was there, Mayor of Mayor of Napanee, Mayor Warsaw, several other people were in that meeting to discuss the effects of Senate Bill 1 that we're fully aware of. So we're trying to see what we can do to maybe calm that down a little bit.
That would be a good thing.
and I do believe like Tony said that I do know that AIC is also trying to make it fair, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Even though they're a county association, yeah.
Well, the property tax,
Oh,
that's going to affect everybody,
Sure.
yeah.
not just townships. You know, townships are the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to elected officials. Right?
But over the next couple of years, we're going to be monitoring Senate Bill 1, what changes may or may not
Yeah.
be made, because when it comes budget time in 27 is when we're going to have to address.
That's right. July of 2027, we will be back with the resolution.
That's when we have to address the lit tax and see where we go from there. So.
Yeah.
Hey, hopefully there might be changes made down there that would ease it up a little bit, but we don't know until they get done.
I appreciate you listening to
Yep.
me. Anybody have any questions?
You getting lit money now?
Yes. Yes. Every month. We all do until,
And that's going to go away unless we
That's-
approve it in
that's what they say.
2027?
It's going to go away unless the county council gives it back to us,
Okay.
but only a certain percentage.
And the 30%, if your accounts are over 30%, you have to put it into another account, capital.
We have to create a road and infrastructure fund, and they really want us to do that now in our townships, even though it's $0, because no money will be transferred to that fund until 1/1/2027. And it will be 30% of unrestricted funds. So that means our township fund and our rainy day fund. Fire fund, Cume Fire, recreation, and donation funds, if you have them, are restricted. We will not transfer 30% of those funds into a road fund. Only our township fund and our rainy day fund. And then 2 years ago, the State Board of Accounts, we used to get our lit money and we would, you'd put like 25% in township fund, 25% in fire fund, 50% in Cume Fire Fund every month. Then the State Board of Accounts came along and said, you can't do that anymore. You have to put it all in your general fund. So a lot of us have really increased the fund balances in our general fund. But they said, which not a lot of us have done that, we can put a line item in our general township fund for fire services with lit monies. So you can bet all of us are budgeting money next year out of our general township fund for fire. And we won't be spending any money out of our fire fund because 30% of that cannot be transferred to a road fund. And then this road fund that they came up with, if you have an MOU with the county and the county calls me up and says, we're gonna repave County Road 500 West or pave it, it's dirt. And how much money do you have to put towards that? Well, the way it reads right now, we can deny them anything. We don't have to help them pay for that. It makes no sense whatsoever. But if I would call up the county highway and say, hey, I want 500 West paved and I'm going to give you $20,000 to help pay for that, then that's okay. But they can't make us give them any money. That's the way it reads right now.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's because Chair Pressel is looking at ways for road funding, and that was in the summer studies. Any of us who've gone to the summer committee studies, those were just ideas that were presented. And so apparently he must have liked that idea to have, you know, the townships like kick into road funding. And we're like, okay,
But to me, how many times does a taxpayer have to be taxed for roads? You have wheel tax. I pay more wheel tax than I do excise tax on my vehicles. We have county tax on roads. We have state, we have gas tax. Now our township tax. Aren't we kind of being duplicated here a little bit with
Yeah,
roads?
and they say in 2030, we're gonna be about $10 million short
Yeah,
on Indiana, and that's the state road funding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I know that that was something that has been discussed, and it's really sad that that's where it ended up. Because I don't think it was very popular, but
I think township government, we all feel township government is very important. We live in our own communities. We're taking care of our volunteer fire departments. We're taking care of our cemeteries that are township owned. Some of us have parks, and some of us contract with community buildings in our township, and some of us have community service agreements, and we will give to a food pantry. I mean, we are doing stuff. For our own people.
And I know part of the purpose behind the road money was to be able to assist the county highway in fixing roads in your township with your money, not somebody else's township.
I get it.
So it's there to kind of help get some of those things done that may not have got done before.
But, you know, really, if I transfer at the end of 2026, maybe $30,000 into my new road fund, how far do you think $30,000 is going to go in paving a 2-mile dirt road? Not
None.
very far. How many feet am I going to pave?
yeah.
Is Steve Moriarty here? Can you tell me? I don't know. So,
I got
hey,
a quick question for you. Your capital improvement plan, is that required that you guys all have to have a capital improvement plan?
yes, and if we do
Yes.
not have our capital improvement plan adopted by September 30th, we do not get fall and spring tax distribution the next year.
Okay, so that's,
And that happened the last time in this county
Yes.
when we did it in 2019 or
Yes.
20.
Somebody lost it.
Clay Township and Turkey Creek Township did not do their capital improvement plan, and so they got no tax dollars the next year.
So my
Okay.
question though is, it
Thank you.
sounds like you're also able to build some things in there so you don't necessarily have to give that 30%. It
That's
sounds
right.
like,
That's what
it
the
sounds
capital
like there's a
improvement plan
workaround. And so I'm glad that you guys are,
Well, the
able
DLG have
to-
come up with a template,
right.
and we're all gonna get together next week and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna, it's not a very easy template. And we kind of looked at that today on the Zoom meeting with the Indiana Township Association, so we can come up with things starting in 2027, because we're already budgeted for 2026. So this capital improvement plan has to be for 3 years, but the accounting firm that partners with Indiana Township Association told us today, go out 5 years.
Right.
And, you know, that's, you know, cemetery restoration is very, very expensive.
Yes.
I mean, it can cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to repair monuments and do your roadways and your cemeteries, and fence them in. Buying a fire truck nowadays, well, that is a very expensive. And the state thinks that townships are hoarding money, that we have gobs of money. But I tell you, this is my 45th year being a township trustee. I have never borrowed one dime to buy a fire truck for Atwood Volunteer Fire Department that I share with Harrison Township. Not one dime. That's because I saved the money until we have enough money to pay for it.
And that's what got you in trouble in the first place, is the fact that they look at those huge balances.
Right.
That's right.
And your rationale is you gotta have it, and so they're.
Yeah.
they're trying
They
to
think
move it
we're
out.
hoarding the money.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to bankrupt us with this road fund and taking away our lit and taking away property tax. And they're trying to bankrupt us now.
And you know, I
To the state.
Just like all I would say is in their defense, they're not doing to you what they tried to do years ago, do away with you. So
They've been trying to do away with township government for 45 years. Ever since I've been in, I fight it every year. Truthfully.
I'm aware of that, Julie.
I know you are.
well, I do,
Nobody's more passionate about township government than I am.
I do believe though that you have people that are listening.
I hope so. I hope they're listening.
And I think that you have a county government that listens also.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you listening to me.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you to the rest of the trustees for being here tonight to support her. Moving right along, Leslie Friedel. Stillwater quarterly update. Hi, Leslie.
Good evening, council. I'm here to do my quarter two update for the funds that we have used for quarter two for our county grant. We have expended the 12,500 in restricted funds to support operational needs for palliative, grief, and hospice here in the county. In the second quarter, we served 67 county residents and their families for a total of 2,226 days that we walked alongside and supported patients and their families facing serious illness through our hospice program. We also supported 14 Kosciuszko County residents at Lutheran Hospital that had been facing serious illness through our palliative program. We have also been providing grief support here in Warsaw at the Health Services Pavilion for families that have lost someone and for various reasons, for a loss that's maybe recently happened or have happened over time. So we're doing grief counseling in a couple different ways, in-person grief counseling, or if people are preferring, we're also offering telehealth if that's an option that people want a different time of day that they can't meet the times that our grief counselors here in Warsaw. So we have been serving in lots of different ways this quarter, and we're seeing the increase in access and people utilizing our services. Any questions?
Any questions or comments for Leslie? I don't think, thank you, Leslie. Amy Rowe, Kosciuszko County Community Coordinator.
Good evening. You should have your report in front of you showing the progress that is being done on each of the projects for health. On the very first page, it shows the percentage of completion for each of those projects. I'm happy to announce that we will have our last construction project ribbon cutting for the small communities on September 4th in Mentone at 4:30. So please feel free to come out. That will be at the newly updated Minster Park.
What time did you say?
At 4:30. Yep. And then I know they are continuing to work on the Chinworth Bridge Trail. John will be giving an update next week on that at the park board. And then as far as the planning grants go, those do have to be complete by September. I'm very excited about that. I have two more program presentations, one tonight and then one in November, and we will be complete with those. But before I bring up my friends that are doing that, wanted to make sure there were no questions about the help project updates that I am sharing.
I think you're doing a great job. I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You are doing a good job, Amy.
Yep. It's fine. I love that. So the miscellaneous projects, some of the things that I am doing other than help to justify full-time would be that I am helping a lot with the CAP program. I get to hang out with Joe and
Yes.
Jim to help with Atwood, which has been really fun to get to know them and the community of Atwood. And then working on all the other small communities to work their projects. And two really neat things, Claypool had their very first strategic planning session yesterday. It was like a bunch of us just trying to get to know each other. Stephanie, who probably doesn't want me to call her out, but she was, she's over this way. She was part of that. I was very excited to meet her. She's a trustee as well as with the school system. So it was nice to meet her yesterday for the very first time. And then Sydney will have their next strategic plan meeting on the 20th. So doing lots of good work to try to build all of the things for the community. So any questions on the miscellaneous projects?
Nope.
Okay. So tonight I have with me for one of the 6 programs that the health project actually moved forward is the small community indoor fitness. And so grateful to Commissioner Carrie Groninger, who talked to Jim Swanson about being a partner on this. So we've been working on this project for a very long time. I believe we have a few folks from Mentone here. If you are from Mentone, they are already our biggest cheerleaders for this project to be excited about moving that forward. So I have Tracy here to talk about the project and what the Y is doing to fulfill that project. So Tracy. I have that.
I'm gonna bring this down a little bit, I think.
It didn't run very far.
I'm just a little bit shorter than Amy. So Amy is handing out information about the indoor fitness proposal. So I wanted to thank you guys for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm so happy to see familiar faces because Amy and I have been out in the community talking to representatives in Mentone, in Pearston, and also Milford about bringing this indoor fitness proposal. We are in partnership with Milford, Pearston, and Mentone, but also through funding opportunities with Health First Kosciuszko, fingers crossed, the K21 Health Foundation, Purdue Extension, and the Kosciuszko Community YMCA, and Amy with the Health Project. We're able to hopefully see this project through fruition. So this project builds directly on the community engagement work done through HELP, which identified the lack of accessible, safe fitness opportunities for older adults in smaller towns. Amy Rowe has played a key role in connecting the YMCA with local leaders, helping us turn strong community partnerships in each of the 3 locations. Together, we're building a sustainable model to bring evidence-informed and fitness and fall prevention classes to seniors in these communities. Residents who want access to the same high-quality programming already available in Warsaw, but closer to home. We have a timeline that we've itemized here. So we're in the thick of it right now. So August through September, right now, we're finalizing the agreements and securing the equipment, signing the MOUs with Health First Kosciuszko. Late September, we're hoping to begin the town-specific marketing campaigns. You'll see an enhanced fitness flyer. That's your second page. That's already out in the community. They have that at the clerk's offices so people can inquire about the program. We've already started a buzz about that. Early October, we're going to host informational sessions and assist with YMCA membership enrollment in these towns. And then fingers crossed and God willing, October 27th, we hope to have the official launch of the programming in all 3 towns. We will have classes on Monday and Wednesday in all 3 towns for enhanced fitness, which is the flyer that you see there. And then Friday is the Purdue Extension program, which is a matter of balance. This program is a piloted program that we hope to see through April 2026. And then we'll see how we do. We'll evaluate and hopefully we'll able to carry on with this fantastic programming past that pilot program date of April 2026. Any questions that you have for me? I didn't go through all of the stuff, but Amy said bring little bullet points for you so you can go back to your constituents and let them know what we're doing. So hopefully it's laid out in a good way for you that you can be able to share with your own communities because we're pretty excited about this project. So we're ready to get up and running. We are waiting on the equipment part, which is the K21 part. I have a meeting with them next week to discuss that grant proposal that we submitted August 1st.
I just have a quick question. So in each of these towns, where are these classes going to take place?
So right in the community. So it's either going to be in the library or the town hall. So,
Okay.
yep. So we went, Jim Swanson, our CEO, Amy and myself went to the 3 communities last November and identified the spaces already. So
Okay.
when we've got the space, we just have to get the equipment in there and the sound system and get the people. So
So you'll just leave the equipment in there, it'll have a
Yes.
designated area, and that'll be the little fitness spot.
Yep, it'll be just a little fitness spot. So we're starting with enhanced fitness. We'll see how that goes. There might be an opportunity for more classes, but the identified need that HELP had was for the senior population. So, and that's in our wheelhouse at the YMCA. So it's a class that I instruct currently, which is I'm one of the enhanced fitness instructors. I'll be leading the program. And then we hope to find people within the community to actually take over and run the classes. So, and I would train all of them. So,
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Very good. Thank you.
All right.
Any
Thank
other
you so much.
questions, comments? All right, thank you
All
very
right,
much.
Yep. Thank you.
And next on the agenda is a budget review of taxing units non-binding recommendation. So for those of you here from trustee's office, you'll be getting a letter with my name on the bottom of it, probably go out tomorrow or Monday, but I need to read this here tonight. The Kosciuszko County Council is charged with the review of each taxing unit's levy limits and the effect of property tax credits. According to IC 6-1.1-71-3.6, the council supports each taxing unit to operate successfully with the least amount of impact to taxpayers, but does not support taxing units to have large reserves with no plan, purpose, or intent of spend. Council encourages each taxing unit to review your budgets carefully, and if cash balances are in excess of what is needed for 1 year to operate, the maximum levy should not be needed unless there are plans for a larger project. The recommendation for 2026 budget is as follows. Review your 2024 year-end cash balance. Review your 2025 certified budgets for each fund and your June 30th, 2025 balance. If you have more than 2.5 times the amount of your 2025 certified budget in your June 30th, 2025 cash balance, and you have made no large increases to your 2025 budgets, you have no large increases planned for your 2026 budget, you have no purpose to plan or spend the money, you may want to consider reducing the rate to a minimum or eliminating the rate for those funds. Please verify that the expected property tax caps for each of your funds to be sure that you'll be able to find or fund your budget with any reductions that you may come up with. So there will be a letter that goes out to all the taxing units, describes just what I laid out with copies of the statutes that affect each of those points that we talked about. So be expecting that. Unless they assured me they'll go out either tomorrow or Monday. So you should receive them, I would say, by no later than the end of next week. Committee reports.
Well, the wage committee met, but we are presenting our recommendations at budget.
Okay.
Is that correct, Kathy?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, we've met several times, and so we'll deal with all of the recommendations on budget with each department.
Okay.
The abatement committee has met, and we've been working on a new abatement policy. Currently, we have an abatement policy, but it's pretty general and not very, I guess, specific, which makes sense. It's general. But anyway, we are doing a lot of work on that, and we'll be presenting it to you guys for approval once we get through the whole process. We think it's going to be a real benefit to the county.
Okay. David?
Solid waste, we're in good shape financially. We're having trouble getting a new contract out of, the folks that have the landfill, but they've been working on it for a long time. They are gonna have some more shredding events. That was fairly successful. We had 75 people showed up. They're gonna have several more of those a year. Gonna have another tire recycling, day, I think in September. And, one of the things we're going to do, you know, whenever towns have cleanups, people from other towns bring stuff in and fill up their dumpsters. So we are a county solid waste, so we're gonna help and put dumpsters. Whenever they have a cleanup, we're gonna put dumpsters in, we can afford it. And so I was very pleased. I think the solid waste board is doing a good job.
Good, thank you. Joe, anything?
Nothing to report.
Rachel?
Nope.
Delynn?
The airport, they're basically doing fine. They're progressing along with, getting their projects completed. The last one they just completed with Phantom Brown, they ended up being way under budget and yet did more work. So, and then, they had a fuel increase of about selling more fuel, about 10 to 12%, you know, to aircraft, et cetera. And so that didn't help their budget. So they're basically doing fine and sitting fine.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Kim, anything else? Hey, one thing I'd like to add before I get to this next one is, as I mentioned earlier this morning, that several of us were in a meeting with the chairman and vice chair of the House Ways and Means Committee. And we were applauded by them for the cooperation we have in our community with the county and the city of Warsaw and the towns and the townships. And Chairman Thompson feels that we should be, Kosciuszko County should be an example for the rest of the state to follow when it comes to that. So very happy to hear that about us. All right, other business to come before the council. I think Nate Shear is going to do that.
Hi, council. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. As I was not on the agenda, I appreciate you making an exception for me or add me to the end of the agenda. I'm here tonight representing South Shore Ventures. My partner, Jeff Dyson, and myself, we've been working on a multifaceted housing, live, work, play community for a number of years. And given all the success that the county has had recently with job creation and opportunities, we feel like the timing is right to really get everybody aligned and move forward and in earnest to bring this project to fruition. Done a lot of research on the comprehensive plan, and I've identified 6 different ways that I think that this project aligns with the county's comprehensive plan and growth, land use, utilities, housing, economic development, workforce development, natural resources, and arts and culture. Not to mention the fact that Wawasee School Corporation has a declining enrollment, and we need some housing in order to help that reverse. So we feel like this project's very critical in that vein as well. So I wasn't able to speak with all of you, but I've spoken with many of you, and those that I didn't, I sent out a kind of a condensed slide deck for your review so that you can understand a little bit of what I'm talking about. The full package of that's roughly 50 slides, so there's a lot of content in there and a lot of vision that we have. It's a big vision, but I think that's one that's well suited for where we're at in space and time and what we can do for the future to really make this a transformational project, not only for Northeast Kosciuszko County, but also for the county at large. So what I'm here today for is just simply to ask for a letter of support. I'm not here to ask for any money or anything like that. That may come down the road, who knows? But really, when we talk to developers and we're looking for the right partners, the first question that they ask is, do you have the support of your local government? And there's no better way to show that than to have a letter of support right there and say, everybody's aligned, everybody sees this vision, they want to move forward with it. And with your help as a developer, we can make this happen. I think a lot of people look at me and my partner like we're developers. We're really not. We're guys that stepped up when a piece of property in our community that had a lot of sentimental value to people was up for sale. We purchased it with the intent to try and do something favorable with it that would benefit the community for generations to come. And we feel like we put a plan together that can do that. So again, I'm here tonight to ask for your support so that we can go find the right partners and make this thing come to fruition for our community.
So Nate presented this to the commissioners on Tuesday.
Correct.
The commissioners unanimously voted to do a letter of support for South Shore Venture. They asked that Nate draft the letter and get it to them, and it'll be reviewed by the county attorney to make sure all the content is correct and stuff on the support. And then they would, next meeting, when they're gonna sign it? Or?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they have to do it at a meeting since they all voted in favor of it or not. I'll leave that up to the county attorney, but I've drafted that letter and I'll be submitting that to them for review. And if you guys are in favor of piggybacking on that exact same draft, that's fine with me, whatever. I mean, I'm here to do whatever's easiest so that we can get this thing going in the right direction. And
Well, I think it'd be easier if both sides of the county government would be on the same page and run through the same letter.
Sure.
That they approved by our attorney and go from there.
yeah, which is totally fine.
So in order to move forward to it, anybody got any questions for Nate?
I just have a question, Nate. I looked over everything you sent me. When would this be up and running? Because you talk about how that would really fill the need for housing, and we got new employment coming in, et cetera, thousands of people in that, so when would that be up and running? And then you say that we're not asking for money now, but down the road, if you did, what would that look like?
Sure. So both those questions are quite dependent on the partners that we find. I've got a multifamily partner that has been interested in breaking ground in ASAP for a couple of years, but with the restrictions and municipal water, it's made it very challenging for them because of the fire suppression standards for buildings over 12,000 square feet. And I recently learned that for a residential unit, you can't have more than 4 units without fire suppression. So when you've got a partner like that, that has a need that is municipal water and the challenges that are that late in that, that's really where we have to have alignment, get everybody to sit down and understand what people are in favor of, what they aren't in favor of, and how we can make this work. So, I mean, I'm ready to get everybody to the table right now. If we can do it, let's do it as fast as we can. But also then that piggybacks on your second question is like, what funding is there? Well, this property is already in a TIF. So how that would be distributed, you know, would have to be negotiated at the appropriate time. We've talked to some developers. Some developers had big gaps. Some of them had small gaps. It really depends on what they're doing and how they do it. And then being a big master plan type community, it also depends on if you can get residential going with mixed use at the same time. Obviously, if you got residential, it takes a little bit longer for that to hit the tax rolls. And then for full completion, you get a big apartment complex like the interested parties that we have right now. In about 18 months, they're having people move in and they're on the tax rolls probably by year 3. So all of that, all that timing, all factors into what the financial stack, you know, the capital stack looks like. But again, in order to get the highest and best use for the property, we want as many people at the table as possible, be selective in what they're wanting to do, their vision, making sure it's aligned with what ours is, because I'm pretty stuck on it. I really don't want to pivot if I don't have to. And at that point, we can move as we've got cooperation and support to move. I mean, a lot of people recognize, as Tony said, a lot of people recognize we're doing things right in this county, and it's attracting, you know, the good opportunities. And housing is one where we need to kind of make up for that. So, I mean, we've had the property for almost 5 years, so I'm ready to move as fast as we possibly can because we have the need. And like I said, our school system could really benefit from that as soon as possible. So, you know, like I said, if there's willing parties, we can move pretty quick.
When I looked over, it makes good use of that property.
No, it's amazing. The plan is amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. And for those of you that I wasn't able to talk to, if you'd like to go through the whole slide deck, I'd be happy to, because it's very comprehensive. We've paid particular attention to how we can make sure that everybody in the community would benefit from something like this. You know, I've ran for office and I've talked to a lot of farmers, and they kind of cringe at the fact that you might be developing land. This property hasn't been a farm, to my knowledge, in a minimum of 100 years, if maybe ever. And we feel real good about the plan and how it can actually help farmers. So I'm super excited at the prospects of stop thinking about dirt and pipes and annexation and zoning and all those types of things, and start focusing on how we can bring more high-tech opportunities to the community to keep our youth focused and engaged here long-term.
I have a quick question for you. So this letter, is that going to go to the developer, potential developers, and or the city, or both?
I think it would be part of maybe an RFP packet that we would put out for developers to come in. It also would be a tool that we can use for ones that we've already talked to and go back to them and say, hey, your concerns in the past, they aren't over. I mean, there's still work to be done for sure. I mean, this is non-binding. I'm not asking you guys to commit to anything. I want this to work for everybody. But what I do want is I want everybody to understand what the vision is, feel good about it, and come to the table in earnest and say, let's figure out a way to make this happen, making sure that everybody is taking care of their constituency and what's best for the county at large. So.
Are you too far along? There's too many homes you go by that annexation is not a possibility, or?
Well, that's a legislative decision that was brought up this last year, and it didn't get very far. And
well, it
so
did in the past. I mean, they passed the annexation, and that's again, Councilman Wilkinson. That's part of the things that we need to sit down and talk about. You know, and some people are comfortable with that. Some people are not. I don't really care either way. If we can get what these people need that are developers that can bring housing to our community and help us spur opportunity, I'm really agnostic to what that mechanism is. I just want it to happen. I am very, I don't want to say stubborn, but I'm being kind of stubborn with it. I mean, I've got 4 children and I want them to stay in this community. And if we don't give them housing and opportunities, they're likely going to go somewhere else. I'm just not comfortable sitting idly by and hoping that somebody does something about it. So I've dug in, I've put my money where my mouth is and my time into this to try and make it happen, not only for my kids, but other kids in the community.
Thank you.
So some of the hang up is getting water and stuff out there, right?
That is.
It's a hang up. I mean, we could pivot away from that and there's things that can be done, but again, that restricts us. I mean, we sold 20 acres to Lakeland Youth Center, and Lakeland's Youth Center and their youth sports programs, they usually have about 5 different school districts that are participating in their youth sports program. They're relying on the school district for gymnasium in the wintertime. And they've actually had to go from Saturday games to Friday and Saturday games because they have so many people participating. Part of their long-term plan is to have a gymnasium on that property. If they were to have to follow the same fire suppression standards as an apartment complex would, which they would because the gym's not going to be smaller than 12,000 square feet, that burden on them as a non-for-profit would be very huge, and it could keep them from doing what they need to do. There's other uses in the community where it would be as important as well. So when you've got multiple uses, you know, it might make sense for one large building to do it for themselves, but when you've got redundancy going on, then all of a sudden you look for municipal services to be able to do that. And we would much rather work with.
Is it the expense of running it out there?
What's
Is that the, is it the
Oh, it's
expense?
huge.
Is that the hangup though?
It's one of the.
I think it's a consideration. We've had some developers that aren't scared by doing it on their own in the way that they do things. We've had others that it is a hindrance. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. Again, it depends on who's working. It's not an astronomical number. I think safe estimates that we've penciled out is that this property would have roughly $100 million in assessed value increase upon full completion. So when you start talking about these infrastructure costs to be able to make this, if the town of Syracuse was willing, there's a lot of ways to skin that cat. And there's also a possibility for some different grants that would be available for expansion of utilities. But it doesn't do anybody a lot of good to go looking for those resources if you can't get alignment, because this property is in the county and the utility is in Syracuse. So if that's even a possibility, they have to come together and say, how can we work together and make this happen?
Yeah.
I just have.
Any sort of plan B if it.
Yeah, I've got several, but again, I'm stuck on this because I feel like if we were to pivot to just say like just housing, that fills a need, but it doesn't solve the opportunity side. And I feel like with the property literally across the street from Lake Wawasee and the power, wealth, networking abilities of the individuals there, if we can engage them in our community, sky's the limit on what kind of opportunities that could bring to our county.
Thank you.
I like the idea, especially being a farmer's wife, that it's not going to impact farm ground. So I will throw that in the beginning of my comments. But also, there's a few things I think as a council member I've been considering as I've been looking over your presentation, and I appreciate you inviting us out to meet with you. Something that Syracuse does not have a lot of is all year round family, right? It promotes a lot of lake homes, a lot of seasonal homes. As we, or I should say the state, if they do in fact move towards lit away from property tax, I could see this promoting the family housing and people staying all year round being quite a benefit as far as lit money in the future. That's one of the things that I noted. Another thing is the fact that we brought in Slate. We're hoping to continue to grow our community and add job opportunities for our children or different people that move into the area, but they're going to need housing. And Syracuse tends to be a much more high-end community as far as costs, and this would kind of help meet them in a range that they might be able to afford, but still be in a community that they might have grown up visiting with their family members that are close by. So I really like what this could potentially offer to our community.
So with that, we would need a motion to provide that letter of support to them.
So moved.
A motion by Kim, second by
Me.
Rachel.
Can I make another comment?
Yes.
But as we do that, we just don't want to attach ourselves to something down the road. We're just doing support this time and then not to worry that we're doing anything financially.
Right. This is going to be
That's all this is.
this is a non-binding letter of support.
That's all
Correct.
we
Doesn't
need.
tie us to anything else.
In alignment with the commissioners who have already agreed. Yeah.
And Tony, do you want that in the same letter or do you want it separately or what do you think?
It has to be a separate letter, one from the council, one from the commissioners, but we're going to piggyback off them and use the same letter.
Yeah, same format, just
Right.
different names.
Right.
Sure.
Any further discussion?
Thanks, Nate. You
All
kind
those,
of- you
all
kind
those in favor, usual sign. Okay, thank you, Nate.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
really appreciate it.
Yep.
Is there anything else to come before the council tonight? If not, I will entertain, oh, wait a minute. Chief McSherry.
Kevin McSherry here tonight representing 400 firemen in the county. I'm not smirking at you. I got some Bell's palsy going on. So I applaud these trustees back here for getting out ahead. We're faced with the problem. The chiefs have put our heads together, and we just turned in a 2026 budget. And we know that we got to start thinking about a 27 budget. So we're getting out ahead also. We're meeting with Representative Snow, and I just want you to listen to these trustees and help us help you.
Yeah.
We're running more calls now than ever before. When you were kids, your mom and dad didn't call when you got hit in the ankle with an apple. The kids start throwing apples that fall off a tree. We get called for the most petty things, but we're here to help the public. We want to be ready to help in the worst case scenario as well. But when we're out hauling Johnny to the hospital for an apple in the ankle, what about Joe over here that had a heart attack? We got to think about that. So we're nobody's getting rich. The trustees aren't pocketing a lot of money. So I just wanted to tell you, Chief Mickey Scott's here representing Syracuse. Chief Rick Hurley's here representing Claypool. We've got paid and volunteer. In that 400, we've got paid and volunteer. And Tony and Rachel, you've seen how the intimate setting we have down there at Seward Township work it. We're brotherhood. We fight together. We cry together. We bleed together. But we fry fish the first Saturday of every
Good
month.
fish. Yeah.
And we do that to support our building and not one municipal dollar. Now that's tough to say. Not $1 from taxpayer money goes into that training center. We do that ourselves.
Right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, I would entertain one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Got a motion by Delynn to adjourn, seconded by
Second.
Kathy. All in favor? Thank you all very much for being here tonight. And especially trustees, thank you for coming in as a group and supporting each other too.
Question.